This is 5 Minute Feng Shui, episode number 11, Confessions of a Feng Shui Consultant, 8 Frequently Asked Questions.
Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui podcast, where each week I'll talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easy for Wealth. Each week I'll talk about topics that can improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy to implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away and usually in 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life.
Hi, it's Katie, and I'm excited to talk to you today because I often am asked what it's like to be a Feng Shui consultant and what it's like to work as a Feng Shui consultant. So I put together a list of 8 of the most frequently asked questions that I'm asked about working as a Feng Shui consultant. So, when I am working with clients and companies, homeowners or readers, these are mostly the questions that come up time and time again. So I'm going to kind of just share a little bit of what it's like working as a Feng Shui consultant with you. So the first question I'm often asked is, who's your favorite kind of client? I actually have 2. One of my favorites is the motivated client. This person wants to make a change in their life and they want some guidance and direction, and they're really eager to learn ways they can improve their lives. These clients are really willing to make an effort and put the recommendations that I give them into action, like painting a door or moving furniture around, that kind of thing, or taking down a dead tree. And those are great clients. My other favorite is the challenge client. These are the ones that are struck by something awful, like a fire or cancer or some kind of sudden loss. One client that I worked with had a home that I worried that could bring a cancer or a problem with her head. And it was, I couldn't believe it, but she ended up 1 month after our consultation telling me that she woke up one morning with half of her face paralyzed and found out that she had a tumor in her brain. Well, the 2 of us worked on her Feng Shui until she had that tumor operated on. She had to learn to walk and talk again, but she's doing great. Another client of mine had a daughter with advanced pancreatic cancer. And I tell you what, they just jumped on her Feng Shui. And we worked on her bedroom, the house, and addressing all the things that were, I believe, contributing to her pancreatic cancer. I'm happy to report both of them today are doing well and they're thriving. And that's exciting for me. I love to see people who are motivated or who come to me with a specific need or a problem, because then I really get to jump into action and help them. One client I had was trying to get pregnant, and I pointed out to her that she was sleeping over her bedroom headboard was over the fireplace downstairs. Well, she had had a miscarriage in that bed, and not only that, but her sister-in-law was pregnant and was house sitting for her and her husband while they were on vacation, and she was pregnant and also had a miscarriage. Anyhow, so this is really illustrating to me why Feng Shui is so important to help us correct problems. And I love stories like that. I think it's so illustrative. So who's my least favorite client? This is my second most common question, believe it or not. And there are 2 of these for me as well. Can you tell I'm a Gemini? The first one is the one that I call the fairy dust client. These clients believe that I'll tell them something magical that will just make change happen in their lives, but they don't normally want to make any change. They just want me to talk about Feng Shui, and they believe that somehow just talking about their home or office will make the change happen in their lives. And it doesn't, because Feng Shui doesn't work that way. Advice is only as good as the advice you put into action. In fact, I've often said that sometimes you are your Feng Shui, because what you do can make all the difference. It doesn't matter what I say or tell someone to do. If they don't do it, or if they're unwilling, or in their hearts they really don't want to make a change, everything's pretty much going to stay the same. The other client that I'm not, isn't one of my favorite clients is the one who loves their problem and they enjoy being the victim and they enjoy their difficult circumstances. I know that sounds really peculiar, but many times there are people that they don't want out of their problems. I truly believe that they love their problems. And these people are sometimes tied to them emotionally and they don't want to give them up. And they're very resistant to any kind of suggestions that I make or to any simple things that they could just put into place that would make a big difference for them. So those are very difficult clients to work with. There is one other that, and I call them, they're wishful thinking. They think that somehow that by talking to me about Feng Shui that you'll win the lottery or something. It just doesn't happen. Now, let's talk about another question I have is, what's some advice that you would give to someone thinking about a consultation with you? And I love this question. The first is to come with a problem that you want to solve. And then obviously be willing to work on those recommendations, even if it means painting a room a different color. The other is to remember that a consultation is to fix a problem and improve your life. And it's okay to talk about those problems, even the very personal ones. In fact, that's when I can really help. And I've heard it all. Believe me, sex addiction, drug addiction, alcoholism, overspending, gambling, ADHD, mental illness. That is not for me to judge. I'm just here to help. So in the circumstances where someone's got a problem, if they'll share that problem with me, we can go deeper into their house and see where that might be made worse by their home's Feng Shui. So what are some of the most common questions you're asked about? And this happens a lot. I do get very similar questions over and over. And I'd say probably the most common questions are usually about money or romance. Most of the time people worry about money and security, and if it's not that, they worry about love. That's their main concern. Of course, health is another thing that clients ask about, but not nearly as often as love or money. I call it the Trinity, love, money, and health. Children are, of course, another concern that people ask me about, and that's also understandable. But as someone with readers from all over the world, I'm constantly amazed by the amazing questions that come up. Some really come out of left field. And it's always interesting to open up my email box every morning because I just never know what someone's going to be asking me about. I mean, it can really run the gamut. So what is your favorite Feng Shui recommendation? And for me, if I just had to pick one, I'd have to say curb appeal. When you work on the exterior appearance of your home, it makes magic for you in Feng Shui. I had a client who had a tree that they had cut down. It was right outside their front door. It was right in line with their front door, and they just couldn't make anything work. And they loved this house, but they noticed that as soon as they moved in, life started going backwards. They started getting sick, bills started piling up, and so on. And so I said it was the tree that was blocking their opportunity, so they cut it down. But here's what they did. They left the stump. And by leaving the stump, now it just says cut down dead energy, and it's at their front door. And once that stump got removed and it was ground down and it was like had never been there and grass grew over it, things changed. For the better. Everything started improving in their lives and making money. And the husband who'd been in the hospital multiple times, he stopped going to the hospital. So it really makes a difference when it comes to your home and how it affects your life. It's hard to imagine, but it's true. It's the way your house is situated, the way it looks, says something about your life. And when your home has curb appeal and looks well maintained and the yard has nice landscaping, the front door is attractive and polished, it makes all the difference in terms of the type of energy that comes into your home and into your life. And so curb appeal is so important. I always say that your front door is literally the cash register to your home and life. So it can bring money and opportunities to you. So for that reason, I'd have to say that alone makes a huge difference, is if you just have some curb appeal. So As always in 5-Minute Feng Shui, I have 3 important takeaways. And after hearing these questions about some of the common questions that I get asked about Feng Shui, I want to share your 3 takeaway tips. If you have a problem in your life that you just can't resolve, seek out a Feng Shui consultation. Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's your house that's causing you problems. And it's just like that example I just gave about the tree that was blocking the house and the homeowners' lives just going backwards as soon as they moved in. But then they cut it down and still left the stump. It was still going backwards. That was an instance of they were all in great shape. They just needed to change that tree and that stump. Okay, number 2, avoid getting a consultation with a Feng Shui consultant if they don't come with recommendations. It's always important to get a referral. A lot of people know me. I have hundreds of clients. I've been publishing the Red Lotus Letter Feng Shui e-zine, and my website's been online now for almost 20 years. I'm a known commodity. I'm in your email inbox every Wednesday, rain or shine. So people get to feel like they know me, and I'm not flighty. If I were, many times you'll see a Feng Shui consultant, and they have a very small, shallow website, and I would be a little concerned about that. Ask around. So always get a referral for your for a consultant you're thinking of hiring. Number 3, always look at curb appeal. You can attract opportunities and more money simply by paying close attention to your home's Feng Shui, especially at the front. Remember what I said earlier. The front door is your cash register for your home and your life. So make your house look great from the street. You're going to feel great driving up. You're going to look at it driving away and feel pride. And that brings that beautiful chi to you. And other people will drive by and look at it and admire your home. So there are your 3 takeaway tips. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of 5-Minute Feng Shui Podcast.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of 5-Minute Feng Shui. If you did, please be sure to share this episode with your friends on social media, and let's change the world one home at a time. For more Feng Shui information and inspiration, sign up for my free weekly Feng Shui e-zine. Just drop by redlotusletter.com to sign up, and I'll be in your inbox every Wednesday. And if you like this episode, give it a thumbs up on iTunes. Now go have a fantastic day.